Hey everybody, Chris here with a new video. I'm not in Iceland, I'm not in Luxembourg, but I'm traveling again. And this time around I am on the Canary Islands. It's not my first time here. I've come to Lanzarote a few years ago, and this time I'm on the island of Gran Canaria. This is the first time for me. So this is a family vacation. But since there are so many landscape photography opportunities on Gran Canaria, I thought I would still film some vlogs and try to make some landscape photos. So this whole island is pretty much an unknown territory to me. I don't know a lot about it. I've done some research and there are some very interesting places to photograph here on Gran Canaria. One of these places is this place. I am in the sand dunes of Maspalomas. It's in the very south of the island, and as you can see, there is quite a lot of sand. Right now it's very early, the sun is right about to rise, and I will have a walk through the dunes and try to find some good opportunities to make some new images. Now, as for the weather, there are a few clouds in the sky, but not a lot. We'll see if they light up with the sunrise or if we just try to capture maybe some shadows on the dunes. Now, there is one very big problem here in these sand dunes, and that's that there are a lot of people coming here. And unfortunately, that means that there are a lot of footsteps everywhere here around the dunes, and I don't know if I'm actually gonna find a good place to make some good pictures. Nevertheless, let's go and have a look at these dunes. So the sun has come up now, but those footsteps in the sand are really a problem. It seems that almost every single ridge has been disfigured by people walking on them. So it's a bummer. I'm having a look around and I'm walking toward the sea. Maybe I'll find some decent opportunities there. So I actually think I found a decent composition. It took me quite a while because, as I said, all the ridges, all the dunes, there is just footsteps everywhere here. And it was very difficult to find something untouched. But as I came closer to the sea, I found those nice puddles of water here. And one of them is relatively untouched. And now with the rising sun, there is some light coming on those little ridges here, and they create some nice little shadows. There are some nice black rocks which help to create a nice foreground for the picture. And then there is this ridge touching the water, and that ridge is completely untouched. There are no footsteps, and I'm using it in the background of the picture. It's not at all the picture I thought I would take here this morning. I was expecting to take a picture of the top of a ridge of the dunes and have some other dunes in the background, but it's just impossible to make this picture here because there are these footsteps everywhere and they just mess up the whole landscape. It's really a pity, but it's just not possible to take that picture. So I'm settling for this composition. I think it works. I like it quite a bit. I'm using a polarizer on the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I'm zoomed it at about 35 millimeters. And I have also a 10-stop ND filter on the lens in order to create a longer exposure and have very smooth water in this puddle. So the picture I'm taking is about a 10-second exposure at f8 ISO 100. Let's see. Turn on the 2-second timer in order to avoid any vibrations. And I'm just going to lower this a little bit further, making the exposure a bit shorter. I don't want to burn out the highlights because the sun is already quite high, so it creates a very bright reflection in the water. And let's see, that's about it. 8 seconds, f8 ISO 100. Let's take the shot. It's actually getting quite hot now, so I'm taking a little break in the shade. I wanted to talk about some of the things you should watch out for when you're coming in a hostile environment like this. First of all, you have to watch out for your camera gear, because sand is quite unforgiving. It will get everywhere. It will get into your gear, into your lens if you're not careful. And if you're changing lenses here in a place like this, you really ought to be careful with the wind. Do it in your bag. Don't do it at all if it's possible, but if you really have to change lenses in a sandy environment like this, try to protect yourself from the wind as best as you can. Also watch out with your tripod. I have one of my tripods that has quite a bit of sand in it. Now, this is completely normal. Sand will get into your tripod legs and you get that nice crunchy noise when you're unfolding the legs. It's really unfortunate, but it happens. It's possible to clean the tripod, of course, but it's quite a hassle. If you are taking a drone into an environment like this with lots of sand, watch out where you take off, because when the drone takes off, it stirs up dust and sand and everything below it, and it can get sand into the drone, so watch out with that too. And when you're landing, it's actually the same. When you're landing the drone, I like to catch the drone with one hand in order to avoid it getting on the ground again and having an uncontrolled landing or something like that. So yeah, watch out for your gear. And then of course it's this whole story with the footsteps. Watch out where you're going. This applies when you're all alone in the desert or in the dunes and you're walking and you're looking at different compositions. Every step you take in a place like this will change the place. And it takes quite a lot of time for the wind to blow away your footsteps, as I've seen here in the dunes of Maspalomas. It's quite unfortunate that there are so many people coming here, but when you're in a place that has so much tourism like Gran Canaria, it's quite unavoidable. I am leaving the sand dunes without a picture I was hoping to make here, but maybe I'll get lucky when I come here next time, or when I go into another desert one of these days. I've been to Death Valley already, into the Mesquite dunes, and I can remember that there were a lot of footsteps there too. But the further you got into the Mesquite dunes, the less footsteps there were, and I managed to make some pictures there. But here, there's just too many people, too many footsteps, and it just doesn't work. So let's go on and get back to the car. Well, it looks like the way back is quite further than I expected. I walked quite a bit this morning. So that's it for this video. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked it, and let me know in the comments below what you thought about the picture, and if you've ever been here to Gran Canaria in the Maspalomas dunes. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, well, you can do so now, because there's going to be a lot more videos like this. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.